But first, I'd like to start with Judy Jeffrey from the Iowa Department of Education. Judy Jeffrey was appointed Director of the Iowa Department of Education November 2004. Before that, she'd been the state's Early Childhood, Elementary, and Secondary Division Administrator since 1996. Before that, she served 24 years in the Council Bluffs Community School District in various classroom, teaching, and administrative positions. Judy. All right, what should we do?
Well, first of all, I have to applaud the Secretary and Senator for really the concepts that you've laid out. As you well know, I represent the Chief State School Officers on the Elementary and Secondary Education Reauthorization Committee, and we are very pleased that you picked up many of the major concepts that the chiefs across the nation believe in so strongly, so thank you so much for that. I do have a question for you, though. I am wondering, how are you thinking about moving and the transition time that it will take to move from this very strict accountability, tight standardized measures that we have to growth measures and transitioning that time, because we're going to definitely need some transition for different types of assessments and to figure this all out. So what have you thought about?
It's a great question. So much of this, moving from low standards, dumbing down standards, to high standards is going to take some time. Getting better assessments is going to get some time. Measuring growth within those assessments is going to take some time. I guess we're pushing, the leadership to come from states. We think this needs to happen as soon as possible, but it's not going to be overnight. And so some states are further ahead than others. Some states are doing a great job measuring growth and gain now. I don't think anyone has it perfect. I think we can get much better going forward. Some states are starting at square one. And so I think that's going to vary case by case. What we want to do, though, is make sure as states move to higher standards, we want to make sure that that doesn't get penalized. And we want to put in place, again, the rewards and supports to make sure raising standards is a good thing. And I think sometimes you're going to see, we have some states now where currently 90% of kids are at grade level, but the standard's so low when we get higher bar, that could go down to 20%. I mean, that's going to be a real wake-up call, a real moment of truth. And we want to make sure that states that are showing that political courage have our backing and have our support. We want these transitions to go as quickly as they can, but it's got to make sense state by state. And so that's going to take some creativity, some flexibility. And those that are further ahead, great. We want other states to learn from them and rally the entire country behind it. But to see 48 state school officers, 48 governors working together on higher standards, both national unions are absolutely supportive. The business community's been crying out for it. A couple years ago, this was a third rail. You couldn't talk about it. Just an idea as time has come. I can't tell you how optimistic that makes me feel.
Thank you.
And as you know, Judy, in the recovery bill, we put some money in there for states to begin the data collection and things necessary for that. And
yes.
I know you've been
Thank you
doing
very
that
much
too,
for that. Yes, that has been very helpful to us.
Yeah.